Finally, there it is. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Stiffler Manufacturing. I am Robert with Stiffler Manufacturing. Go on. Go on. You go first. There's an order to things. Out and about today. I'm going to go meet up with an old Army buddy in a minute. So on my route over there. Figured, what the heck, let's do a live. Right before SHOT Show, that's what I got going on in the background of me here. Is that with MMC Armory last year at SHOT Show, which we were with them slides. This year we are taking more slides than we did. Last year I want to say we brought something like 20 slides. This year we're looking at 50, 60, if not more. Hey Joey, what's going on, brother? How goes it? So yeah, this year we are taking a lot more. We're heading off in a few days. That is coming up quick. Lot to do, lot to pack up, lot to get ready. We'll get there, probably Sunday, Monday, and start doing a lot of the pre-setup for the booth. And then of course, Monday, Tuesday, that's when SHOT Show will kick in, and we'll go from there, right? It's going to be 2,800 booths, 50,000 plus people, and we're just going to be a small part of that. It's going to be pretty cool. But feel free to ask questions as we go. I'm excited that we're going to be showing off some new stuff, some new Cerakote designs. We're doing some new H series stuff, F series stuff, FX series, different kinds of Cerakote, new camos, new stripes, just new colors too. And so that's going to be pretty cool. I wish I could show some of it now, but we're holding off until we get to SHOT Show. We'll do a lot of reels. We'll do lives if we can actually do a live while inside the Venetian. Typically doing live streams inside casinos is difficult. It's all the building, it's all other people's signal. It's just, it's bad. And you can use Wi-Fi there, but from some of the other content creators we've talked to, doing live streaming inside the casinos and hotels is really difficult. So we might just be stuck doing short videos just to update everybody, all the booths we go to, the people visiting our booth, and MMC Armory as well. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm not sure if there's plans for a gun show in Tennessee. We kind of talked about GunCon and GOA goals, and if those end up in certain places, we might end up going. In the near future, we're looking at doing gun shows local to Arizona, and SHOT Show in Nevada, we do that in conjunction with another business. So that's kind of how we can go, because some of the booths there are insanely expensive. Like, you're looking at, I think someone once told me that Glock spends 25 grand just on their booth every year. And that is just wild. Ours, in conjunction with someone else, we're still spending several grand. So a lot of it's the travel. It's not even so much the convention itself, it's the travel. And then you've got to get your product there, you've got to get all the stuff for your booth there, and then when you're done, you've got to get it all back. Not to mention getting a hotel, then there's food. In this one, we're just traveling via car. We're going to drive up. So, Nevada and Arizona are so close to each other. It's going to be a long drive, but, not the longest we've ever done. Whereas I know a lot of people are taking planes in, they're getting their stuff shipped, and that's got to be even more expensive. So I don't know if we'll do in Tennessee. Maybe someday, maybe, as we continue to grow, or if GunCon or GOA Goals goes to Tennessee and we're actually going to go that year, then, we might be able to pull something like that off. William, how you doing, brother? Talking about SHOT Show. I'm out and about driving. Gonna go meet up with somebody. And I figured, what the heck, let's do a live while I'm out and about. Answer questions, what have you. And I'm excited to show off some of the new slides. Designs. Well, I hate to call it like that because I don't want you guys thinking we're doing a new slide. We are doing new slides. We have the 43 and the 26 coming. But it's new Cerakote styles. New camos, new stripes, new colors. And I'm excited to show some of them off because we're doing some really cool stuff that with metallic FX that I think just looks neat, you know. And we'll do that with the Zoom, the Hellet, the Viper, the Turbo. We still have some Leonidas in stock. We're going to take some of those to SHOT Show. And then, of course, the 43 and the 26, we might be taking the prototypes of those to SHOT Show. And there's still some stuff in the background that's being worked on. We have a slide that I can't talk about, and another slide I can't talk about just yet. But there's 2 designs in the background that we're working on for 19s and 17s, and potentially transferring those into the 26 and the 43 as well. One of them has a name, can't say it yet. The other one, we're still, you know, workshopping a name. In the gun show in Tennessee, not expensive for a booth because the Tennessee State Guard had a booth there. It was like $150 to $200 for both. Oh, right on. And I know there's only a few of us in here, but for those of you that do not know, some states also have a state guard or state defense force in addition to the National Guard that cannot be federalized. So if they're effectively, think of them like a state militia that does, you know, state emergencies, local responses, answers to the governor, but cannot be federalized by the Army or the Air Force, unlike the National Guard. Arizona passed laws, even though federal, you know, laws and precedent says we already can establish a militia. Several years back, Arizona passed a law that says we can. And it's like, okay, are you going to do anything with it? No. It was mostly just political posturing. And some states view it as a necessity. Some of them have land militias. Some of them have naval militias. Some of them have both. And they view it as a necessity in case the National Guard is ever federalized and they find themselves low on troops to, you know, enforce civil order, to deal with natural disasters, things like that. And, you know, it's a process that goes all the way back, you know, to our founding, even further, even back to the original militias in the colonies back to 1636. So it does have a shared history a bit with the National Guard. It's kind of interesting. Hey, Live Life, what's going on, brother? Alabama. It's an interesting history, you know. Feel free to look it up sometime. America's full, you know, as young as we are, you know, 250 years approaching. We have a lot of interesting history. Europe might crap on us, you know, for being as young as we are, but I think some of our history is pretty cool. Hey, passing by the Air and Space Museum. That's a cool place to be if you ever decide to visit Arizona. Check out the Air and Space Museum. They've got a Blackbird there. Wild. But when the hurricane hit East Tennessee, the Advocate General didn't deploy the Tennessee State Guard until 4 months later, and I lost my mind over that. Yes, that is a common thing. And if you talk to members of the National Guard and state militias and stuff, a lot of them get very frustrated over natural disaster response times because they're capable of doing it. They can assist with it, you know, wildfires, hurricanes, what have you, and they don't get activated until later. And what you'll find is that some states have a mandate, whether official or unofficial, that they have to expend a certain amount of resources first before activating the Guard or whatever state militia you might have. And I always found that kind of stupid, because you could spend the money up front and prevent the issue, or at the very least limit how much damage it does, or you can spend the money on the back end. Either way, you're going to spend the money. The hope is they're hoping to save pennies and not need to activate the guard or what have you to fix the issue. So they'll let a fire get so out of control that state and even interstate resources can't handle it, and then, you know, they spend the money on the guard because they're just kind of hoping they don't have to. Still about 5-ish miles out. Oh, you're braking kind of early. Judge advocate. Is that like your adjutant general, or do you actually have a JAG attorney in charge of the state guard? Arizona doesn't have a state guard or a state militia, so a little unfamiliar. I'm familiar with like that they exist and what they do, unfamiliar on how the structure works. Like Tennessee has one, I believe Tennessee State Guard, and I think they fall under the, or sorry, not Tennessee, Texas. I think they fall under the Texas Military Department in addition to the National Guard, and they are both subject to the Adjutant General and the Governor. And in many states' cases, if not all, as well as the other like 4 territories, the Adjutant General is either a 1 or 2-star Army or Air Force general that's part of the National Guard. It doesn't always have to be that case. You could have a civilian in control of it. But I think the vast majority of them, if not all of them, are 1 or 2-star generals. So that's something. I actually had a conversation about that a while back with someone from Europe. I forget which country he was from, maybe Germany, but I forget. That in addition to the active components that we have, you know, Army, Air Force, Navy, Marine Corps, Space Force, Coast Guard, that they all have their reserve components as well. He was not familiar with our National Guard, and that we have 54 additional military formations in the course of the National Guard between, you know, an Army and Air Force, you know, each state, and then 4 of the 5 territories, and yeah, DC counts. So yeah, across the 54, there's 2 that don't. I forget which 2 that don't. 2 territories don't have a National Guard. And anyway, in addition to that, there's also the auxiliaries that assist. So like the Civil Air Patrol for the Air Force is an auxiliary to the Air Force. There's volunteers. It's kind of like, you know, a Boy Scouts thing for the Air Force, but they do have actual volunteer and actual full-time members that will assist with things like radar tracking and communications, and, you know, just to provide additional support to the Air Force if needed. There's a communications auxiliary too. With some of them got deactivated, but with the Army and the Marine Corps, and I think the Navy has one. There is a Coast Guard auxiliary. So like you have the active Coast Guard, the Coast Guard Reserve, and an auxiliary Coast Guard, which are volunteers. And then in addition to that, some states have their own land and naval state defense forces / militias. And the guy was just shocked, and he's just like, so not only do you already have your Army and all the other stuff, he's like, every state has military. And then some states have their own militia in addition to that. And not only do you have reserve forces, you have auxiliary forces that assist. And it's like, yeah, we do. Like, insane defense budget. Have I paid attention to Europe? A little bit here and there. I mean, I deployed years ago, and I was with European allies, NATO allies, Asian and Middle Eastern allies. And so, you know, I've talked with them and interacted with them to varying degrees. And then, of course, politics and, you know, things going on in the world. Yeah, you pay attention to it a little bit. Like with the Russo-Ukrainian war going on, all of the belly aching from NATO. There's always stuff to pay attention to. But it'll drive you crazy if you focus on it too much. Still a little ways away. Let's see. Oh, has he texted me back? Awesome, cool. We're headed the same direction. Excellent. Wow, what's going on in Europe specifically? I think I saw something with France and the UK talking about putting troops in Ukraine. That'll be interesting. And of course there's Greenland. Have you seen the way they are coming back with the Europe starting to look like the Roman Empire, and it's crazy about it? No, probably not. I don't really see a whole lot of pro-Europe energy going on over there where they might do something like that. There's a lot of disagreements going on with the European Union, a lot of disagreements going on between nations. Some want to militarize, some want to basically capitulate through politics. Like Poland is definitely militarizing, but not every country wants to be involved in that. But it's kind of the same thing. You look at like World War II, is it's people that don't want to be involved. And let's see. Oh, there we go. Hold on, I'll give you guys a quick pause. Okay, sorry about that. I had a quick phone call. Okay, sorry about that. I had a quick phone call. I had to go take care of that real quick. About 5-10 minutes out. But yeah, seeing some of them want to militarize, and what was I saying? Some of it dates back to like World War II, where they don't want to get involved in certain things. They're like, hey, let's just talk it out. But, you know, if you look at past issues with history, you can't really negotiate from a position of weakness. So if Europe isn't willing to defend itself, they better be prepared to give up a lot. And for 50 years or more, a lot of them have really been relying on us to be that buffer. And right now it looks like we don't want to be that buffer. So they better figure that shit out. Heck, I'm passing by an air base right now. We are definitely in a military town. Definitely pro-Air Force. And there's some Army elements here. And if you go south, there's even more Army elements. You go west and you got the Marine Corps. Up north, more Air Force, more Army. Kind of cool though. I get to see F-16s fly around. A-10s before they started doing away with that. Occasionally we'll see F-35s. Usually those come down from north to do training. It's kind of fun to watch. Blackhawks, of course. Okay. All right. Let's see where we at. Oh, gotta make a left turn up here. Okay, let's get away from this dude. In here? All right, looks like it. All right, that's probably where I'm going to end it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll update you more as we get ready to go to SHOT Show, and you know, we're leaving in a few days. So, yeah, definitely happy we're going. It's going to be exciting. Going to do a lot of stuff. But you guys have a good one, and as always, stay 2A every day.